Okay, so we move on to Exhibit F, and I was torn between the justice system or the healthcare system, but in honor of Luigi, let's talk about healthcare in America first. But first, what Luigi did was karma. Personally, I would have just crippled the guy because death is a serious thing. There is no coming back from that. But the CEO and the shareholders are monsters who are letting millions of people suffer and die. Luigi stopped a life that was taking millions of lives, but that's not the road we should be taking. Fighting fire with fire will just burn everything down. We have to work together, and I think the best thing to do is hit a reset button. Let Luigi free. He isn't a menace to society. The real menace to society are running health insurance companies. He was like My Name is Earl, a guy doing the work of karma. But if we keep letting the CEOs and the shareholders get away with these injustices, we are going to devolve into anarchism. For those who don't know, back in the late 1800s, the robber barons had gone so out of hand, new reforms were made to stop them because waves of assassination targeting the rich and powerful were sweeping across both Europe and the US, because the robber barons were just as corrupt as the monarchs of Europe. The robber barons took so much from the people, they created people with nothing left to lose. And the most effective way of fighting they did was through organizations that got things done and attacked the wallets of the rich, instead of just organizations that shouted demands. The rich and powerful have us in the palm of their hands. They're not going to care about anything we have to say unless we stand up for ourselves on our own feet. But as of now, we are in the new age of the robber barons. And with the help of technology, mob mentality, and propaganda, they have found a way to take the focus off their crime of stealing wealth, opportunity, and freedom and turned us against each other. But like I said, there are only two sides, the corrupt and the truth. And the corrupt is winning. They're already using AI to deny our health claims. The more AI advances, the more advanced their control over us will be. We, the masses, will get all the drawbacks of AI, and the rich and powerful will get all the benefits, just like they do in society right now. We need to do something before they get AI truly up and running. So far, they are doing a good job with the company Palantir. Think of the type of company that controls and knows everything about you based on data banks, street cameras, and anything else we use that is integrated with technology. Oh, and the CIA, you know, the guys who've been sabotaging the world, including us, for the sake of rich corporations for almost a century now? Yeah, they're one of the first investors and customers of this company. And it is being integrated into the deep state to make us safer, as they say, but given the track record, it's obvious it's to make us easier to control. And if people get brain chip implants, that will not be a good combination with Palantir and the CIA, especially since the founder of this company and Elon Musk are part of a group of businessmen that have worked before to become billionaires. These tech billionaires talk about bettering humanity, but it's about bettering the rich and powerful. The rest of humanity can be subservient. Exhibit F. The healthcare system in America is pathetic, even when compared to third world countries. My mother would rather travel back to Mexico to get medical attention than waste her money on insurances or American medical bills, even for me. Unless it was an emergency, we would always get our medical checkups and work done back home, even though in one of the nearby towns a doctor had been arrested for overprescribing and lying about diagnosis to get more money out of people. I always felt sketchy about that, but only because I wasn't aware of how bad things were in America. And now that I think about it, American doctors and pharma companies caused the opioid crisis by overprescribing. The way I see it, Mexico has drug cartels, but so does America. They're just called Big Pharma in the healthcare system. We have countries who have figured this out. It can be as easy as following their example. There are plenty. Unfortunately, Britain decided to follow our example and privatize part of their universal healthcare system, resulting in mediocre medical care. We have the proof, we know the truth. Let's stop privatizing healthcare. It's obviously not working. But again, this ties itself to the big consumer machine. In America, we eat junk and sugar so we can get sick and are turned into cash cows. Our government doesn't see us as humanity, they treat us like livestock, fattening us up to be butchered and sold to corporations, just so a few people at the billionaire class can get even more money despite not using it for anything but to make more money for themselves. And sure, we'll get billionaires who choose to innovate, but leaving the progress of humanity up to billionaires is such a bad plan, it's the same as having kings and emperors. Just because we aren't called peasants doesn't mean we aren't being treated as such by those in power. Humanity should be about exploring knowledge and bettering ourselves, not working for the rich. Now, if you want to learn more about how health insurance companies steal from not just their customers but also from taxpayers, watch the video on it made by the channel More Perfect Union. Let's move on to Exhibit G. The justice system in this country has less to do with justice and more to do with, you guessed it, making money. From the lawyers, the judges, the government who always needs their cut, the prison owners because even prisons are becoming privatized, the youth facilities, everything about our justice system is designed with two things in mind: making money and punishing. Justice is thrown out the window when it comes to the white collar criminals, and for us, it's a roll of the die. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Now, if you ask me, I think justice should be that the victim, or if they don't survive, their family should decide what happens to the criminal. When it comes to lesser crimes, there can be a limit to what the punishment can be, but the victim should still get to decide because they didn't start this. They were being lawful citizens. The criminal started this. They should get whatever the victim decides. Now, if it's a violent crime or a serious white collar crime, then they should get no mercy. Nothing is off the table, so long as the victim or family get to decide. Of course, we will still have lawyers and judges, but with true justice, and if we're dealing with a repeat offenders or a really bad person that was forgiven and set free by the victims or their family, they should be removed from society. Let's pick a state and dump all the unlawful people there. Criminals are born messed up or are raised in a messed up way. If we truly want to bring justice to the world, we have to start taking care of one another to prevent people from becoming criminals. And if someone is born messed up, get them therapy as soon as possible. In my family, we have some psychologically perturbed people. One member was diagnosed with a type of criminal mentality, but her parents were too poor to send her to therapy. So she grew up unchecked, and it went from mood swings as a teenager to bipolar in her 20s, and she just kept getting worse until she finally got professional psychiatric help. But this other member who crushed 10 baby chicks with his hands like they were nothing when he was 4 years old was sent to therapy right away, and he turned out well educated, hardworking, and a lovable family man. He went from not understanding what the dying squeaking sound was from those poor chicks to being empathetic enough to love his stepdaughter as much as his real daughter. We can do this. We can convince the rich and powerful to understand humanity should be working for humanity, not money. Let's use money to educate everyone in a way that makes them problem solvers instead of just obedient workers. We can use our resources as best as we can instead of just using them for profit. We can help stop polluting the planet by being able to work remotely and not mindlessly wasting gas because that's how it should be. All of these problems and many more stem from corporate propaganda. The rich and powerful design society to take as much money and control from us and brainwash us to believe we're free and the system is fair. We know they are lying. Please believe in the truth. Let's use this religion of truth and let's use any fighting chance we can get to stand up for ourselves and hold the government and corporations who have betrayed humanity for money accountable for not doing their part for the good of the world. If the working class does their job, don't break the law, and pays their taxes, so should the rich. Whatever service or innovation you provided for society was your passion. Your duty is the same as everyone else's, to work for the benefit of humanity, not selfish interest at the expense of humanity. If billionaires use their fortune for further innovation, that is fulfilling your duty. But buying Hawaii or colonizing a part of a poor country with a crypto city or any opulence is all selfish. Even if that isn't a crime in the eyes of the law, it is a crime against humanity. It is a crime in the spirit of the law. The law is a man-made construct, and a man is made of thoughts and emotions. No technicality, loophole, or lie can work against a person using both their brain and heart.